By now, you've probably seen viral videos showing people at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, outraged and engaging in some, physical activity with one another and cops after Spirit Airlines canceled a bunch of their flights. Now, airline companies cancel a bunch of flights all the time. It's super frustrating. Why did people lose their minds? Well, chaos broke out at the Florida airport on Monday after multiple Spirit flights were canceled, leading to long lines, irate customers, and altercations, okay? So we have a video showing a little bit of what the scene is like and what caused the flight cancellations, and then I'll give you an update on this story. Take a look.
The chaos erupting inside Fort Lauderdale's airport spilled into the overnight as passengers were stranded. It got so bad, Spirit Airlines called in police, officers taking several people into custody. The mayhem starting after 11 cancellations and 26 delayed flights. And the airline, with the worst customer service and on-time record, blames some of its own pilots. Spirit claiming its ongoing labor negotiations with the Airline Pilots Association, saying in a statement to ABC News, this is a result of unlawful labor activity by some Spirit pilots designed to disrupt operations for our customers.
So Spirit Airlines has filed a suit against the pilots here, the Airline Pilots Association to be specific, and a judge has literally just ruled that the pilots who are employed by the airline must go back to work.
So there isn't, man, corporations have such a headlock on the judiciary and every part of our government.
Right.
They're even ruling in favor of Spirit Airlines.
And no one really rules in favor of Spirit Airlines.
Okay, so this was a recipe for disaster. You combine Spirit Airlines with Florida, and of course you're gonna have an absolute mess on your hands. The two things that are bound to lead to great frustration. Okay, if you don't know, if you haven't taken Spirit, it's a disaster. It makes United look like a classy airline.
Right, well, the whole point of Spirit Airlines is we're gonna give you the absolute lowest price, but it will be a bare bones flight, okay? You're not gonna be able to recline your seat. We're gonna pack you in like sardines. There are no comforts associated with the flight. And I know that with most flights, there aren't much comforts associated if you are not willing to pay more than economy for your ticket. But no, Spirit takes it to the next level. And then if you want even a little bit of comfort, they'll charge you for it.
Yeah, and it's more bare knuckle in this case than bare bones. And I was just on a Spirit flight just last week, and they increased the pain so that they can increase the amount of things that they can charge you for. So they not only charge you for checking your bags, so everybody's gotten used to that. They sometimes charge you for carry-ons. They charge you for every conceivable thing that they possibly can charge you for. I'm surprised they don't charge you for oxygen. And there's no service, like you can't check in at one of those kiosks, you gotta sit through the lines. They tell you gotta come 2 hours early because you will be on a massive line. I mean, every inconvenience there is, right? And I was, like I said, just last week on a Spirit airline. And everybody in line looked like they were on hard times, dude. Okay, including me. And it was a late night flight from Vegas to Baltimore. They were on hard times, going to harder times. And you take those guys who are all on edge, right? You put them down in Florida, and then you put them on a Spirit airline flight, and then you cancel the flight. Of course you're gonna have fights. Of course.
Exactly.
It's like they did it just for World Star.
It's not, that's funny. But it's not just about Spirit Airlines. I think that this is a symptom of increased frustration and anger. It's been pent up and we continue to suppress it more and more every single time we travel. And people have finally had enough. I think that this goes way further than Spirit Airlines. We're seeing more and more of these stories where people are fighting back against these airline companies because they feel like, it's one of the most expensive things that you can pay for in this country, in terms of travel. And you get treated like crap, right? The flight gets delayed, and instead of feeling as though they owe you something, like an apology, they treat you like you owe them something.
Oh, no. And to be fair to the folks who work at Spirit Airlines, they're on their last rope too. I mean, because everybody they deal with is pissed because Spirit wound up pissing them off in one way or another. And they've taken so much abuse that by the time you're talking to somebody who works at Spirit, they're ready to fight. Like they all got a look on their face like, what now? What now? No, I'm charging you for that. What are you gonna do about it, okay? Say one more thing, I'm gonna charge you per word. Right? So, I mean, that thing is toxic. And so this is bound to happen. And you're right, Anna, we're all at our breaking point.
Right, I mean, Cenk and I talked about travel yesterday. I believe during the post-game show for our members, you should join tytnetwork.com/join. But anyway, during the discussion, I mentioned something about how I'm done with travel, right? And it sucks because for work, oftentimes you have to do it. You have no choice. But in terms of putting myself through situations like that for vacation, it's just not worth it anymore. It's that unbearable.
Yeah. And I just had to go to 5 cities in 10 days, and it wasn't easy, man. And sometimes, especially when a flight that's really late gets canceled, it is brutal, absolutely brutal. So anyway, good luck to everybody. Hope that the authorities let everybody go, man.
Yeah.
You got to understand, there's got to be a Spirit defense. Like, to be fair, Your Honor, I was on Spirit Airlines. Case dismissed.
The real resistance is fighting against Trump and the establishment. Help us get investigative reporters that are going to investigate both of them. tytnetwork.com/go.